Hello, Hamish here from mortgagesonline.co.nz. I have got Fei with me from Millennium Lawyers. How are you, Fei?
Hello, Hamish. Good. Nice talking to you. This is Fei Fei.
Yes, and we're talking about sunset clauses today, right?
Yes, indeed. Quite a hot topic.
Now, explain to me. So, sunset clause is basically an expiry date on the contract, right?
Indeed, for off-the-plan property purchase, nowadays there are quite a lot in the market now. So you, as a purchaser, you need to know when you can pull out because you put the money in, you do not know when you can see the building. So that is a clause aiming at protecting you, that you know you can get your principal back safely, normally plus interest.
And you can put this in the sale and purchase agreement. And the other thing that is coming up more and more is that if it is not worded correctly, the developer can actually use it to pull out and sell it to someone else for a higher price.
Yes, we have heard it on the news. Quite often they use that to their advantage because the sunset clause is drafted in the sense that both parties have the right to pull out. And they use it especially for a shorter term sunset. They see the market has moved. Instead of letting the buyer make that difference in capital gain, they quickly cancel it so that they can sell at a better price, which we know is not ethical, but people do that.
Yeah, because obviously the stories we're hearing is that people wait a year or two and then suddenly if the developer sells it to someone else, even if you get your deposit back, you're now trying to find stuff for a lot more.
Indeed.
In a rising market. Now, the other thing, Fei, is basically in terms of a deposit. So if you're waiting for something off the plans, how can you safeguard your deposit? Because we've heard of building companies going under as well, or liquidating, and
Yeah. So in New Zealand, you need to make sure, or your lawyer must check your sale and purchase agreement, that the deposit, who is holding your deposit, and whether the deposit is able to be released to the developer, which I do not recommend. If it's the lawyer holding the deposit, the lawyer is only the stakeholder for both parties. Then your deposit is safe. If it is validly cancelled, you will have your deposit plus interest back. Again, you need to check the interest. The deposit is in the interest-bearing account. Even the interest is low, but over a period of time, it does come to something.
And I guess the timeline from our point of view, of course, when we do a pre-approval for someone, the approval generally lasts 6 months to a year. So that's another thing to consider, is that you don't want to have a sunset clause, which, is 2 years away, right?
Indeed. Most of the property nowadays is quite a shorter sunset. That's why your lawyer is very important to check your sunset clause, whether it is helpful to protect your interest. So for people with loan with 1 year sunset, I did help with your client sometime to ensure that we can make sure our sunset is within the bank approval date, and to monitor closely to enable the client to get their loan and within that time. So again, your lawyer needs to be actively on your file and keep the dates very clearly in mind.
Well, thank you for your time, Fei, and I think you've made a really good point there that really with these contracts that are off the plan, you really need your lawyer's involvement before you sign anything.
Indeed.
Thanks for your time.